Objective Petrology, multiple choice questions with answers. These are the collection from various previous year's question papers and useful for various competitive exams like CSR, NET, GATE, GSI and other exams. Welcome to the set 2. Coming to the first question. Perthites consisting of an. So this was the question which was asked in UPSC Combined Geologists exam 2020. Choices are A. Alkali feldspar host with an X-solved sodium-rich plagioclase feldspar phase which segregated from the host during cooling. And B. Sodium-rich feldspar as a host with an X-solved alkali feldspar segregated from the host. And C. Equal amount of alkali feldspar and a more calcium-rich plagioclase. D. Intrusion of sodium-rich plagioclase into alkali feldspar with a phase of segregation. So what does a perthite consist? So the correct answer is A. Alkali feldspar host with an X-solved sodium-rich plagioclase feldspar phase which has segregated from the host during cooling. Coming to the second question. If crystallization is strictly along Bowen's reaction series, such crystallization is called. Choices are A. Cotectic crystallization, B. Eutectic crystallization, C. Peritectic crystallization, D. Fractional crystallization. The correct answer is A. Cotectic crystallization. Coming to the third question, the IUGS classification of plutonic rocks is applicable to visually crystalline, that means phenolitic rocks, which we can see, which are presumed to have formed at considerable depth. This classification is strictly A. Based on silica percentage, B. A quantitative mineralogical, C. Depth-wise, D. Based on the texture. The correct answer is this is based on a quantitative mineralogical phase. Coming to the third question. Rapakivi structure is a special type of orbicular structure where ovoid phenocrysts of potash feldspar are mantled by shells of granular oligoclase. This structure is typically developed in. Choices are A. Mirozone granites, B. Catazone granites, C. Epigonal granites, D. S-type granites. The correct answer is C. Epigonal granites. You can see this type of Rapakivi structure. Coming to the fourth question, spinifex texture is a type of quench texture and which resembles a bunch of grass and it is usually associated with. Choices are A. Low magnesian lava, B. Granitic lava, C. High magnesian lava, D. Andesitic lava. The correct answer is C. High magnesian lava. Sixth question, incongruent melting occurs when A. A melt breakdown into two or more than two chemically distinct phase by assimilation. B. A solid split at very high temperature into two solids having the bulk chemical composition. And C. A solid which splits at definite temperature into another solid and liquid. And D. A rock which is subjected to high confining pressure without any increase in the temperature. The correct answer is C. A solid which splits at a definite temperature into another solid and a liquid. So here in incongruent melting, solid splits at definite temperature and it will form another solid and also liquid. Coming to the seventh question. Influence of dissolved water is one of the process of magmatic differentiation and which it involves. Choices are A. Alkalis and certain metals coordinate with the water and concentrate in the regions of lowest pressure and temperature. B. Alkalis and metals are hydrophobic, so they move from water saturated area to water deficient area. And C. Different chemical potential of water throughout the magma chamber. And D. Water provides a way to gravitational rising of heavy crystals. So the correct answer is A. Alkali and certain metals coordinate with the water and concentrate in the regions of lowest pressure and temperature. This is one of the influence of the dissolved water and it is one of the process of magmatic differentiation. Coming to the eighth question, during the complex process of reaction between magma and invaded rock, magma becomes modified by incorporation of a material originally present in the wall rock. This process is known as. Choices are A. Magmatic differentiation, B. Magmatic mixing, C. Assimilation, and D. crystallization. The correct answer is mixing. So here in this mixing or magmatic mixing process, complex process of reaction between the magma and whichever the invaded rock, there will be a reaction and magma becomes solidified by incorporation of the material which is already present in the wall rock, and this is overall known as a magmatic mixing process. Coming to the ninth question, kimberlites are alkalic rocks characteristically ultramafic in composition. So they differ from lamprophytes and lamproids in choices are A. Kimberlites have high silica. B. Contents of alkalis, that means sodium oxide plus potassium oxide. C. Contents of magnesium are low in kimberlites. And D. Contents of alkalis are high in kimberlite. So the correct answer is B. Contents of alkalis, that is sodium oxide and potassium oxide. So this composition of kimberlites will be differ from the lamproids and lamprophytes. Coming to the 10th question, crystallization may be localized at a cooling margin where the temperature is lower than the central parts of the magma. Thus, you can see a solid phase is formed, and B, liquid phase is formed, and C, both solid and liquid phases are formed, and D, a liquid and gaseous phase is formed. So the correct answer is a solid and a liquid phases are formed during the crystallization at a cooling margin. Here at this cooling margin, temperature will be lower than the main part or central part of magma. So thus you can see the both solid and the liquid phases. Coming to the 11th question, a certain mineralogical change in a rock that is also of local extent, but it is different of character from either contact or cataclysmic metamorphism, then it is known as. The correct answer, the choices are A. Cataclysmic metamorphism, B. Hydrothermal metamorphism, and C. Dynamothermal metamorphism, and D. Regional burial metamorphism. So the correct answer is B. Hydrothermal metamorphism. Coming to the 12th question, nucleation in metamorphic rocks is. Choices are A. Faster when entropy change is smallest, B. Faster when entropy change is highest, and C. Initiated by entropy but not depends on entropy in advanced stage, and D. Controlling factor for second order transitions. The correct answer is A. Faster when entropy change is small. Entropy means the order of disturbance. So here in nucleation and metamorphic rocks, it will be faster when the order of disturbance change is small. So coming to the 13th question, pseudotachelites are A. Thin seams of glassy igneous intrusion by extreme from the magma with mafic composition, and B. Thin seams of glassy rock produced of the results of the melting due to frictional heating and are restricted to dry rocks, and C. A rock mass with a random fabric of interlocking with a tough texture and strength, and D. Fine-grained rock produced in the zone of intense ductile deformation, whereas the pre-existing grains have been crystallized as finer grains. So the correct answer is B. Thin seams of glassy rock which is produced as a result of the melting due to frictional heating and are restricted to dry rocks are known as a pseudotachelites. Coming to the 14th question, when an igneous rock is metamorphosed and the original texture continues to occur in the metamorphosed ones, the resulting texture is called. Choices are A. Granoblastic texture, B. Blastoporphyritic texture, C. Porphyroblastic texture, and D. Xenoblastic texture. The correct answer is B. Blastoporphyritic. Here you can see when suppose if the igneous rock is metamorphism and the original texture continues to occur in the metamorphosed one rather than the igneous one, so the resulting texture is said to be blastoporphyritic. That means. So coming to the 15th question, metamorphic facies can be defined as A range of chemical reaction under the process of metamorphism where bulk chemical composition of the altered rock remains the same as the parent rock, and B. A range of pressure temperature conditions over which a particular common mineral assemblage or range of mineral assemblages are stable, and C. A physically separable constituents of the system in the form of solid, liquid or gas, and D. A changing condition of pressure and temperature which lead to reaction and production of new assemblage. So the correct answer is B. A range of pressure temperature conditions over which a particular common mineral assemblage or a range of mineral assemblages are stable. So this facies concept was proposed by Escola. Coming to the 16th question, a specific change in mineral assemblage reflecting a metamorphic reaction and satisfying the condition of a reaction equilibrium is called. Choices are A. Isograd, B. Isopatch, C. Isocontour, D. Line of phase change. The correct answer is A. Isograd, means the change in the metamorphic gradation, where the mineral assemblage which will reflect a metamorphic reaction and which will satisfy the equilibrium condition. Coming to the 17th question, what are scans or scans are? A. Metasedimentary rock that are rich in calcium or calcium magnesium silicate. B. Recrystallized rock where all the igneous minerals recrystallized into high-grade metamorphic minerals. C. Metamorphic rocks formed by hydrothermal alteration of limestone into marble. And D. A variety of calc-silicate rock formed by metasomatic interaction between marble and silicate rock. So the correct answer is D. So these are the variety of the calc-silicate rocks which are formed by metasomatic interaction between the marble and the silicate rock. Coming to the 18th question, in a baric type paid metamorphic belt, what will happen? So the choices are A. The high and low pressure belt of the same age occurred next to one another, which are separated by major faults. And B. Two high pressure belts of the different age occurred next to one another. And C. The high and low pressure belt of different age occurred next to one another, separated by faults. And D. Two low pressure belts of the different age occurred next to one another. The correct answer is D. Two low pressure belts of the different age occur next to one another. Coming to the 19th question, the steps involved in a metamorphic reaction will be the lowest in a natural geological setting and will therefore control the rate of overall reaction is known as. Choices are A. Rate limiting step, and B. Surface step, C. Heat energy step, D. Natural reaction step. The correct answer is known as a rate limiting step. 20th question, the difference between carbonate and siliciclastic sediment is. Choices are A. The carbonate sequence occurs in shallow tropical environments, while siliciclastic occurs worldwide at all depths. B. The carbonate sequence occurs at a deep marine environments, while the siliciclastic occurs at all depths. C. Both carbonate and siliciclastic occur at the same depositional environment with only difference of grain size and texture. And D. The carbonate deposits results from shallow water bodies from interaction of the current and waves, while siliciclastic sediments are a result of only deep calm water deposit. So the correct answer is A. The carbonate sequence occurs in shallow tropical environments, whereas the siliciclastic occurs at all depths. Coming to the 21st question, grain size interpretation in siliciclastic rock is much simpler than carbonate and evaporites because choices are A. Diagenesis in carbonates and evaporites obscures original grain relationship, and B. Siliciclastic rocks are cemented on seafloor and easy for stratigraphic correlation, and C. For carbonate and evaporites, climate is no constraint, sediments occur worldwide and at all depth. And D. In carbonate sediment, periodic exposure of sediment during deposition leaves deposits which are relatively unaffected. The correct answer is A. Diagenesis in carbonates and evaporites obscures the original grain relationship. 22nd question. Hard grounds are. Choices are A. Microscopic erosional surface on the underside of the bedding plane, which is formed by the natural casts of erosional features, and B. Vortex erosion typically at the base of turbidity current, and C. Originally bored surfaces which encrusted with the fossils in growth position, and D. Resistant surface which is altered by erosional impact of large objects entrained in the flow. The correct answer is C. Organically bored surfaces which encrusted with fossils in growth position are known as hard grounds. Coming to 23rd question, in sedimentary rocks, the beds that contain internal layers that are essentially parallel to the bounding bedding surfaces are said to be. Choices are A. Cross stratified, B. planar stratified, C. composite bed sets, and D. laminated bedding. The correct answer is B. planar stratified. Coming to the another question. Textural maturity of sandstone is determined by. Choices are A. The relative abundance of stable and unstable framework grains. B. The ratio of matrix and well-defined grain under hydrostatic condition. And C. The relative abundance of matrix and the degree of rounding and sorting of framework grains. D. The proportion of coarse grain sediment to fine grain sediment when matrix is absent. The correct answer is C. The relative abundance of matrix and the degree of rounding and sorting of framework grains. Coming to the 25th question. The non-clastic sediment composed of microcrystalline quartz found in both the bed and the nodules of limestones and sandstone is known as. Choices are A. Chets, B. Silky sandstone, and C. Brexia, D. Evaporates. The correct answer is A. Chets.